garden and your new garden. Tell me about this.
Well, we did have the show gardening previously by Lisa Calver of Aspect Garden Solutions. That was her design that was due to go to the BBC Gardeners World Live. Unfortunately, they changed the dates. It didn't work out for her. So we've now got that. It's all been dug out last week.
Fortunately for us, it didn't go there because we had it here and it looked fantastic, didn't it?
We did. A lovely bee-friendly design. So that all got dug out last week. That is now for sale on the nursery. Bargain prices, all raising money for St Elizabeth Hospice. Well, cleared some space for me to have a go.
And you're having a go. Prairie planting, this was something that started with climate change. We're going to do prairie plants, and it became very fashionable. But suddenly it's very needy and it's very now, isn't it? It isn't just one of those fad things, it is now.
I think it's got so much going for it that it's really won people over, because it's something, it looks really beautiful and effective, but it's actually one of the simple, I won't say it's, you know, low maintenance, but it's one of the easier ways of gardening. It's all about planting in big bold swathes and blocks of plants, so you're using a lot of the same plant, and that gives you that really effective impact when you're looking at things. But it means you're not having to remember how to look after millions of different plants like you do in a cottage garden, because we've got here, you know, grasses are a big part of it, the ornamental grasses. So that's giving us you've got the wind is blowing through.
There's so much movement. Yeah. There's grasses and there's grasses, as we saw it in the gardens in Felixstowe last week. There's so many different sorts. But this bed now is about, what, 2.5 metres by 2.5 metres square, raised bed, and it's absolutely gorgeous. How will you describe the feel to it? I would say prairie. Yes, it's prairie, isn't it? It is.
So it's got quite a lot of blue tones to it, and I've gone with quite a lot of bark for it. I got some old sleepers. They've been sawn a bit, and so they're upright. They're giving us that little bit of a coastal groin kind of feel.
They're almost Stonehenge or wood, yes. Or what's the other henge? The wood henge one. Yes, beautiful. Is it wood called wood henge? It's fantastic. It's architecture as well, and it's nice to have some hard landscaping in, isn't it? You've got some ironwork in as well, rusty iron.
Yes, we've got some nice. Again, I was trying to echo. It's a place called Sarah's Attic, which is in the middle of Suffolk, and she's got lots of metal stakes. And I was trying to echo a bit, so we've got a bulrush style one that I've got amongst the grasses, and then we've got a sort of daisy-like flower in with neomedalias and things. So there's something, because at Kate's Garden we just do plants, so it's a bit of an extra leap for me to do, like you said, a bit of hard landscape, a bit of around the edges type thing.
Yeah, and doing a railway sleeper, cutting it up in threes is quite a task. Where did you start on something like this? How would you begin? Obviously you design in your head, didn't you? You don't just pull it out of air, you've got a design there.
To a certain extent,
yeah.
I do like a bit of that, but we decided fairly early on that we did want to go, because it's a really good look prairie planting for autumn time, because this is when the ornamental grasses look their best. They've got the seed heads and things, and it's thinking about the classic plants that you use for it. It's actually quite loose if you try looking up what you use for prairie planting. But Verbena bonariensis is a key one. Even if you don't know the name, you will know the plant. It's this really tall, wiry with the purple flowers. The bees and the butterflies love it. And that's giving you, so it's all up quite tall, but it's not dense. We can see all the way through this. So it's about 15 foot by 15 foot. And the same with the grasses. We've got some real electric blue ones. Again, you can see through it. And shall I tell you what my first thought was for my, I mean, it is square, not rectangle, but I thought the South African flag.
Okay.
Because it's got that triangle stripes and then the stripe. So if you stood on a ladder, you would see I've made sort of bark rivers.
I can see the stripes.
So you can see, yes, it goes through, but with a bit curve.
That's unusual for you, because you always say fill every bit, but you've got some pathways in between now that for the eye goes all the way through. So you are looking at the structure of it more than the plants itself. You've been very cunning with this one as well.
Yes, because you can do some of the prairie planting, you see it really is very dense, solid mass of it. But sometimes it's about being able to show off. You can look around all the sides of these grasses, you can look all the way around the verbena. It's giving them the space for you to really appreciate them. We've got red hot pokers, as I've got cone flowers, which are starting to come out now, the echinacea and the rudbeckia.
And let's talk about grasses, because you've got probably what, 4 or 5 sorts here?
3 actually, but again it's repeat part of the look. Again, I said it makes it much easier to keep tabs. Like a keen gardener, this is the way to get a good look. So we've got the steeper tenuissima. Garden designers love it, and fallen into it as well.
That's a fluffy one, isn't it?
It's very blonde, and again you'll probably know it, and that's really floating about quite low. We've got the stunning Lamus Blue Dome.
This is the one I haven't heard of. That is almost almost like a garlic or an onion leaf. It's very sharp, isn't it?
Don't stroke it.
I always stroke it, but it's blue. It's
really electric blue.
It's got blue to it.
And that's giving the zing why I wanted the bark on this, as it's really shining against that. Just had a bit of a sandy soil or something. I think that wouldn't show up the way it does. Bark's quite dark. And we've got another one, Panicum, at the back there, which is, I've forgotten the full name, but it's got Prairie in the name, so I knew that had to be in. And that's got quite sparkly seed heads on it.
Now for flowers, this is my delight. Yellow, pink, bright pink and blue. I love it. As a cut flower arrangement, that I would choose that. Amazing dahlias you've got here now.
They're new ones. I'm afraid you can only have them if you're a member of the Wards Club to sign up. But they're called Electro Pink, and they really are electric. They're not a subtle flower.
They are. No, they're right in your face then. And what's that around the corner, Rebecca? Yes.
Yes, we've got that with that little bit of yellow in it as well. Because one of the things I wanted as well was some dark leaf in this, plummy leaves. So we've got the blue grassy, we've got the blue verbena, and then we've got some plummy dahlias. Sedums, a little bit behind, but they did go
Where
in.
are the sedums?
I know, exactly.
Oh yes, I've got them.
Yeah, it's a little bit wee, but there's some plummy ones. And we've got some Alstromera, which isn't really a classic of the Prairie look. That's the Peruvian lily, but it has again got the lovely plummy. So I've got dots of that that's going to hopefully draw the.
And will that be a
around.
pink Alstromera as well?
I'm afraid that one's going to be orange, so we'll see how that goes.
Whoa! Oh, I love it. You have been so daring, haven't you?
I have. Well, we've got the red hot pokers. We have got some very orange red hot pokers.
Yeah.
There. So again, I'm hoping that's all going to echo.
Again, we saw quite a few of those in Seafront Gardens last week in Felixstowe.
They're very good ones, South African, because I think prairie planting of being a North American thing, but you do get them in various
Well,
parts
this is
of the world.
Prairie meets South Africa meets country garden almost. Because you've got a bit of it is very you, isn't it? Like, I can see that. That is your design, isn't it? You have your name on there. You can see it.
Well, I think that's why I need to keep moving house, because you do a garden and you're like, well, it's done now. It's nice here, working here, get the challenge, do something new, something different, because I probably do skew towards liking cottage garden the best, but actually you look at this, I like this.
So that's all the height you've done. What have you done low?
There's not a huge amount of it, because part of prairie planting, it tends to be the biggest. So the main thing we've got is the Erigeron kavinskyana. Good job spelling that. And that's the white daisy flower. Again, you'll have seen that lots. It's something that really naturalises, it really softens. You can use it in all sorts of different styles. And they're just so long flowering, really good.
That is great in between paving as well, isn't it? To make it look as if it's grown naturally. But you plant it in there, it looks good. Here as well, as if it's seeded itself. A bird has dropped the seed and it's grown there. It trails over the side. Because you've got the hard landscaping, you've got these wooden sides, but that softens it off and you get something coming over the side.
I do still like a bit of froth.
Yeah, we love a bit of froth. And the really those electric pink dahlias are amazing.
They're really, I think it's the cacti type, isn't it? I think
What's the red over here? I can see just one red flower. What's that?
we've got yet some more cone flowers coming out.
Oh, pretty.
I have to say I had some stressing because I knew it needed some pink echinacea, and we have every colour you can think of an echinacea on the nursery. So we did have to cheat and buy some in, but I did put some of our own in as well.
So what about care for this garden now? What will you need to do between now and say Christmas? What we need to do?
Luckily, very little, and we're actually intending at the moment to leave it over the winter, because a lot of the plants you use, like the ornamental grasses, I haven't got any thistles in here, but that's another one you use in the prairie planting. These verbenas, they look beautiful with the seed heads, and you'll find as well the birds will often like them, so you're doing a bit of an environmental thing.
They're on the bees are on there now. I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to have echinops in there would look lovely, wouldn't it? But you don't need it.
No, I sort of eyed up a few of our thistly plants, and I thought, no, there's enough.
There's the time when you have to say stop, haven't you? It's enough.
Yeah, so this is the kind of thing, in the frost, this should look absolutely gorgeous. So
Okay.
we won't mind if we get any.
We'll put pictures on our Facebook page and on your website as well. Out of 10, how many would you mark yourself?
Oh, I think I've got to go pretty high in the end. I can't give myself a higher score than I've given anyone else, though, can I?
I will give it a 10.